Life is full of work and stress. Parenting can be a mess. Being a woman is hard enough without adding on that extra stuff. We'll cover topics of every kind. Helpful resources we will find. We'll even drink a bottle of wine. Join us. It will be a real good time. Here, I'm going to say my biggest complaint against this season. And if you haven't watched it, this is your final warning. You can skip ahead for 2 minutes. You can just choose to not watch our podcast anymore.
You could just watch 10 seconds of it, hit the like button, and then exit out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is it. This is your final chance. This is kind of when we're doing Marco Polos to each other. Yeah. If you don't want your children to know the truth about certain holiday figures, maybe you should tune out now.
We say that all the time. Hey, this is your chance to make sure you're not playing this in front of your children.
This is it. 5, 4, 3, 2,
tequila.
1. I forgot what I was going to say already. Okay. So the veto competition. The veto competition where it was Tucker and Angela and Mackenzie. This is really it. Uh-oh. This is your absolute last chance to turn this off and not hear what I'm going to say. With the veto competition, we have Angela and Mackenzie and Tucker.
This is my favorite.
Tucker already feels a little bad, I think, that his whole AI instigator thing didn't go the way he wanted it to go in a couple of different ways. Okay.
I disagree, but you finish your point.
I want to just say from the beginning, I have been a Tucker super fan. I've always liked the Jim Carrey-esque personality type, and I feel like he is that kind of a person. He's very jokey, very fun, very whatever. He just wants to give people a hard time, and that's probably why I married the person I did.
I'm physically biting my tongue right now.
Mm-hmm. But when he got AI Instigator, I was like, this could be hilarious. And then he just did an awful job with it. Awful. Terrible. I hope they paid him nothing.
I disagree, and they did pay him things. So
did they?
Continue.
Okay.
Make your point, and I'll come in with mine.
Well, and it's fine, but everything he was trying to accomplish, he accomplished the opposite of. But where he finally lost me, and maybe this is where you know more than I do, is when he felt bad that people were starting to pick on Angela. Because he acted like in front of the cameras that he really did feel bad about it.
Yes.
And he talked to her about it, and of course she didn't believe him and all this other stuff.
That's a whole thing.
Here's the deal. Whether or not he believed what he said to her, in my opinion, was really weirdly overboard. And I can see where even as Angela, you wouldn't believe him. And that's the point where I was like, Tucker, I picked him to win. And last year, I picked the correct winner. Last season.
I did not pick Tucker to win for multiple reasons, but
I thought he was a bit of a gamble for obvious reasons.
When I watched his beginner interviews that they released before the show starts, I said to my friend, this dude is crazy.
Yes.
And he's crazy in an entertaining way.
Yes.
But not in a last till the end kind of way.
No, I can see that.
And he very much had what I'll jokingly refer to as stoner face. Where he was wide-eyed and crazy one minute and then real squinty and crazy the next minute. And I was like, this guy's all over the page.
Yeah.
He'll be fun to watch and he'll probably make some good friendships, but he won't make it to the end.
That was my whole thing, too.
When he started winning comp after comp after comp after comp, I was like, maybe he could make it to the end because he is so much better at these games than everybody else.
That's the thing that red flagged me.
That's what made Rachel win one time was everybody hated her, really truly hated her as a person, as a human being, and still do to this day, myself included. But she was in a showmance and she got married from it and they had babies.
But was there a point ever where she lost something?
Maybe, yeah.
Near the end.
Not near the end.
That's the problem.
But she won enough comps that it kept her safe in times when she was the person to get out.
Exactly.
When it mattered.
Exactly. So, obviously...
Well, she won a lot of comps, as did Tucker.
Yeah. But Tucker made the mistake of always being willing to be the pawn.
He made that mistake because he got too confident in his ability to beat the AI arena.
Well, and here's where I have the issue. And here's where we're going to have my conspiracy theory. We have the three of them in the AI arena, and he's up against Mackenzie and Angela. Mackenzie, okay. Angela, pretty easy to beat. Mm-hmm. Also, though, this was a very easy to win.
Okay, here's two things, though. Mackenzie was very good, and she had beat the AI arena before. She has comp wins under her belt. She's not HOH, but she has wins under her belt. So she's good at the puzzles and things. And come to find out afterward, I don't know if you saw this in the post interviews, he's dyslexic. So him facing the numbers the wrong way makes sense. He did not throw that comp. He says, I did not throw that comp. I didn't listen to the directions, and I'm dyslexic, and I faced the numbers to the wrong side of the grid.
That makes more sense.
As he was doing it, I was texting people. He's turning the numbers the wrong way. What is he doing? Like, he's been so good at these competitions and their stupid little rules.
Every single time.
And their numbers and everything. I would never have guessed that he was dyslexic.
And when we are all watching it, I usually watch it on my phone. So I do not say something unless you and Mom have already said something, and I can just swipe down and reply.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there someone needs to talk to me right now because Tucker is very obviously throwing this one.
And I was texting like crazy, but I'll admit, I texted my friend group before I texted you and Mom. So I was a little delayed on the you and Mom part. I'm sorry. I also have coworkers that watch it, and it's a gamble as to who I'm going to text first live in a moment.
No, that's fair. But it was very...
I was like I don't think this is an accident. I think this is real. He's facing all of his numbers the wrong way. This is not a throw it thing.
I thought he did it to throw it.
I've missed the directions thing. And then he's such an observant person, to watch other people's tactics, how they're going about it. For him to not notice that other people's numbers were all facing the other way was weird. But
here's my next question.
This, I think, was maybe one of the first times he was actually in the threat of going. And I think it threw him.
Here's my deal. If Angela's up, you're never in the threat of going, in my personal opinion. But
for the rest of the house.
But he felt bad about Angela. Mm-hmm. He felt bad that she took the heat for some of the things that he had done.
He did.
Also, he's an idiot because when he tried to tell her about it, she still was like, I don't believe you. I don't believe we're friends. And even when he found out she was going behind his back and said to her face, I know this is happening.
You did this. You said this.
I know you are doing this, and I still want to show to you that I am a stand-up person, and I am willing to continue to do this.
That's when you become the people-pleasing doormat and not...
That's when he lost my vote.
Playing your own game.
But, so they're doing this competition. He's facing his backwards, and I think, obviously, he's throwing it because this is the most obvious competition
ever. It's like a puzzle where you place your pieces in a row, but there's numbers on them, and the numbers have to face the right way, and the numbers have to line up.
Here's my question.
The puzzle pieces have to fit.
We saw video. Do they only hear what Ainsley is telling them and not see the video example?
I don't know.
Because if he only hears what she's saying, I could get where you could get confused. Well, that's the thing. If there was a screen showing the numbers, why would you ever possibly think it could be backwards?
Well, the dyslexia thing would make sense if you're only hearing it.
Right.
Because your brain is interpreting it.
But if you're seeing a video, maybe the conspiracy is
probably only hearing it, in my best guess. But most of the time when they can see things on the screen, we see what they're going to see on the screen. So, and we didn't see anything like that.
I'm going to make another complaint. Where's the mystery house guest? Because we're too far in now.
It's Ainsley, I'm telling you.
But if it was Ainsley... If it was Ainsley, which is fine, and I get, and I understand, and that's a fun concept, why is she in... I guess she's not in bracketology anymore.
No.
Ainsley, but she was for a while after
people
the first
had all these
episode.
Theories, and they were playing on it.
Come on,
Ainsley is the AI component of this season. But I think maybe if more people had voted yes than no, there would have been
maybe there was a potential?
Yes, there would have been a different thing going on.
I think a mystery house guest would have been fun.
Several of these players are twins, and it was kind of a secret. And they've done twin twists before, where one twin comes in, and they go in the diary room, and they swap out, and the other twin goes in. T-Core has a twin. Kenny had a twin. Tucker, I don't know if it's a twin, but his brother looks insanely like him. So
I don't know if they're
twins or not, but
let's go
twin it,
Nikki.
About it. I feel like there was one more person that I'm forgetting that had a twin, but there were a lot of twins this season that people on social media were like detective finding out about. But I do need to a second rewind to the whole Tucker as the AI instigator thing, because I completely disagree with you on your take.
You think he did a good job?
He did an amazing job.
But for what his personal goals are, did he do a good job?
Yes. I think he instigated chaos in the house.
Sure.
By making them think this was some sort of competition. And there have in the past many times over been this competition where random things show up on the screen and random things play over the speaker and you have to memorize them, and it's a memory comp.
Which is fair.
Where they later call you out and they say, did we say this or did we say that? And you have to say true or false or whatever, and it's like an HOH comp.
But every time Tucker did something, he immediately regretted it.
I don't think he regretted it.
He made Rubina cry, and he hated that.
He hated making Rubina cry. But his goal with that one was not for that. It was to put their showmance in the open so that he could openly love her.
Which I get.
Instead of it being a secret. He just didn't think it would
But have the balls to just do it.
There's an argument there for sure.
I know.
But the rest of the things he did were very calculated and very...
What about the Angela thing? That wasn't calculated.
I think it was.
He claims it wasn't.
What he didn't account for was her wackadoo reaction to everything.
Yeah.
Like, he thought he had a good thing with her because he saved her butt countless times.
Which he's not wrong, because she kept saying, as soon as I can save him, I will.
Yeah. But he didn't account for her trying to do this wild card thing that she did with Matt, and she's done with Quinn, and she's done with every other person in the house, so why you wouldn't account for it?
And quite honestly, if he had not come up to her, it would never have been an issue. She still would have been on his side.
Exactly.
The only thing she didn't believe was that he would take her to the final two over his girlfriend.
Which is a legitimate, legitimate opinion.
It's fair.
But when you have someone who saved your butt so many times, and he had so many times, and he's a comp beast, and you have nobody, literally nobody on your side in this house.
That's the thing.
Nobody. And you have the comp beast saying he'll protect you, you do what you're told.
If I, whether or not I believed him, I would have acted like I did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She has no... I'm sensitive about Angela. But I digress. I think he played the instigator very well. I was very entertained by it being an old school BB person. I understood exactly what he was doing, and I thought it was hilarious.
There are people in real life.
Could he have done more with it? Definitely. But
it was
a good route to take if you don't know what to do.
He's a good instigator, and he did a good job whether or not it was in the way he wanted it to turn out. I just think he ended up feeling more personally guilty than he expected to.
Yes, the guilt factor was huge, and he shouldn't have behaved in a way with Angela to kind of admit that he had been the one doing things.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
And I'll tell you what,
Angela was the mistake.
Y'all can forget this if I end up on Big Brother ever. But if I was going to
be save these and replay them.
An instigator, if I was going to be an instigator, the first person I would pick on would be myself. And it wouldn't be like, I'm going to have someone else pick on me. I would be the image, because that's the first time people are like, okay, it's obviously not you. Like, come on, man. He did eventually
make an argument for the other, where you could say, if I'm the first person to show up, maybe it's because I am the instigator.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, he did eventually have himself be the image.
On the first talk,
I was afraid he wasn't going to do it.
He insulted himself and his showmance.
Yes.
And then later he showed up as himself and made insults.
Which is better.
So I think it threw up, nobody suspects him whatsoever of it.
I was afraid he wasn't going to show up as himself. That he was just going to make the rounds through everyone else. Yeah.
But he could have done more.
If he's dyslexic, fine. But that one episode, I'm sorry, that challenge was so straightforward and so simple that it just does not seem like someone who rocked every other challenge so hard would lose out on that specific challenge.
I don't know if I agree, because there were other things he won, there were ways to manipulate it. Like the catching the balls thing, he knew immediately he could block the fans with his legs and catch more balls. It was very... engineerish the way he thought of it.
Yeah, but like
and putting puzzle pieces in is not the same.
A puzzle to an extent can be more challenging, but those puzzle pieces were extremely straightforward. There wasn't any kind of trick as to where each puzzle piece went.
The shape was straightforward, but he could do it backwards and get it all wrong. Like, if you think about that, if he flipped those pieces around, they wouldn't have fit in the same way. So it was totally backwards.
Yeah, but you would have to have the opposite of every single piece for him to be able to put it in backwards.
But they would do that.
Yeah, I can see that.
They would do that.
The fact that Mackenzie just immediately won it, though, I'm just like...
I do think, in my humble opinion, if he had
I don't think he wanted to win.
I don't think he wanted to win, but I think he wanted to make it to jury. Because you get paid a lot more when you make it to jury.
So that is part of my conspiracy.
And he did not make it to jury. So
whether or not you make it to jury, you do get paid per week that you are on the show. And they do tell you in the fine print that they are able to take that away from you if they need to. But they don't have a reason to take that away from Tucker. And even if they did, he's got plenty of celebrity friends, Paris Hilton.
That's the other thing. He made money as the AI instigator. He didn't seem to be aware of that yet.
So how much did they pay out?
So America got to vote. If it was $0, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000.
Yeah.
And we voted for $20,000 and he got it.
Okay.
And I was glad for 2 reasons. First of all, he played a really good game and he was very entertaining.
Sure. He's absolute. That's why I voted for him as long as I did, because he's entertaining.
But also, in that last punishment game, he gave up money to T-Core and took on a punishment knowingly.
Yes.
He knew in his head he could manipulate it to where he got the money. And he didn't take that route. He gave T-Core the easy way. He took the crazy punishment.
And he said it.
And he gave up money. Yeah. So, I don't feel bad. I voted for him to get the $20,000 because I felt like, you're a good person and you played a really good game and you've done really, like, you caught bees.
And that's
you were the underdog and you kept yourself and your people safe. You've done a great thing. So,
as much as I can see him being an annoying person, he made some very good decisions.
Yeah.
And what I
not
really
a Tucker fan to start, I'll say that.
What I really appreciate too is Mackenzie won that Hawaii competition, and
Hawaii
of course,
trip,
Hawaii trip.
No, I mean.
A lot of people could have chosen at that point. Yeah, I'm going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not I win, I get a trip to Hawaii. Not one person.
Basically, in that comp, you're not going to win the veto unless you're the last.
And not one person tried to take her freaking Hawaii vacation.
People are nice. They're like, okay.
No, they're not. But this season they are.
In this game, they can be. I've seen other seasons where people did stuff like that, where they said, I'm not going to take this money from you. I'm not going to take this trip from you.
We were driving home, and of course I'm listening to it while I'm driving the kids home. And some
people also, like super fans, really want the punishments because it's part of the experience.
I mean, that's true.
The costume,
quite honestly, I would have taken Angela's punishment if I could have, just to be like, yes, I did that. But
that's another conversation.
True. And I didn't know, like, when she initially got the punishment, all the other things they were going to put her through. I think she's dumb.
We're not that much compared to other punishments.
I'm going to think she's dumb.
She made it so dramatic.
Because that's what she does. But we're driving home, and I have the kids in the car with me, and I don't always... It's not that I don't let them watch it, but like it's around bedtime. I have them doing their things while I watch my show. But we're all in the car together and they can hear this. And she's talking about the Hawaii vacation and how she could hold veto, but she knows she's not going to hold on to it. And I say out loud, no, girl, you take that vacation. And my kids are hearing this. They're hearing this competition go on. They're hearing me encourage her to take the vacation over the slim chance of winning the entire thing. And part of me thought, way to go, Mom. And she got to keep her vacation. And it's like, sometimes it's fun to be on the show, but you have to accept the prize that you're going to get.
There's like
she gets the
30
vacation.
People when
Tucker's got $20,000 plus the like what $1,000 a week you get for being on Big Brother. Period.
And then you
like,
get
cool.
your time in the camera. People follow you on social media. You
maybe
can make
get
a
some
whole
brand
career
deals
out of that if you want.
Yeah.
You know, there are lots of pluses to this. Let's be real.
So if
even if you don't win.
If you were going to audition for Big Brother, what would be your shtick?
I don't know. What shtick would I play on the audition tape? I might play the therapist role because they really like people they think can people read.
So, I think I can tell what's going on in the house.
I'll be the first to admit I am not a good people reader. Okay? My side of the therapy role is that I am accepting of all people and all types and all personalities. Mm-hmm. Not I can tell immediately when you're lying to me and which one you are. Mm-hmm. However, they love people who think they can read people, detectives, police officers, all that kind of stuff.
Kenny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kenny was the first person where I was like, you ain't going to last long. Oh, I forgot to talk about Cedric. We'll have to circle around to that.
Yeah, we will. I could also play the single mom card. There's been a lot of, I'm an older person. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I'll be the first grandma I went with.
Or any kind of, I have a financial need.
Yeah, I could play up that side in an audition tape and probably get a little further.
Yeah.
But I will never audition, so.
Okay.
I know I'd be terrible at it in real life, so let's not waste time.
I have decided after watching.
I couldn't leave my kid for that long. I can't leave her for barely a weekend. Are we kidding?
Yeah, she can come live here.
Are we kidding? No. I could not stand. It's not her being aware where she'd be. It's me not physically seeing her.
Here's the thing, though. When you have 4 of them instead of 1, a reality TV show is a vacation.
It might seem very different.
I think if I went on, I would have to have a gimmick. Because I'm not the demographic that you're usually playing to. So
I think that could be your gimmick.
That exactly would be my gimmick. So I have been known to be a little overboard when it comes to Halloween or doing a competition at work or whatever. And
anything that requires a theme or dressing up.
I have so many costumes now. So my whole thing was, and I did kind of think about this when I was at the latest Japanese festival at the Botanical Gardens, because I always cosplay every year. They'll ask for volunteers to cosplay. They have a showcase that they do. And so you're like, here's my costume. And they'll be like, yes, you're in. No, you're not. Blah, 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 whatever. And then like for a couple of minutes, you walk across the stage while they talk about the movie or show or whatever that you're from. And the idea, and the guy talks before we even come out about like, what is cosplay? What's the term mean? What is this? How do you get into it? And the whole idea. So the whole idea is that you are costume playing a character. So it's Halloween, but for not Halloween.
For adults.
Yeah. So this last time, anyone who knows Studio Ghibli, I did Sophie Hatter from Howl's Moving Castle. I've done Inuyasha from the same TV series. I've done, what's her name? This one's harder. Demon Slayer, the butterfly lady. I always forget her name. I've done various characters for various different shows. And some people who do this, they make their entire costume from scratch. I cannot. I would love to someday, but I cannot.
There are too many children in this house to do that.
Yeah. So I will half buy it and half make things. But the idea is like when they're introducing people to this is that you don't have to feel obligated to make the whole thing. Maybe you can make some of it. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're just putting your toe into this world of, I want to dress up like my favorite character and have some fun. And as much as I'm an introvert, it is really fun to walk around once a year and for people to go, I know you. Can I take my picture with you like you're a Disney princess? So
seriously, people do this at D23 all the time.
Exactly.
They dress up like their favorite Disney roles.
Exactly. And I did see a lady bounding as Snow White. She had a blue dress and a red heart purse. I love that the purse was a heart.
Yes.
For those of you who know Snow White.
If you know, you know.
Yes. And then I don't remember if the yellow was like a cloak or a belt, but she had some yellow in there too. And I was like, oh, that's so good. And so that's my whole thing, is if I ever get on any reality TV show, but especially Big Brother, I can
play that card.
I'm kawaii. Let's go. There we go. You know, heart stuff. And then they would think I was so crazy that they have to have me on the show. And then I get myself onto the show, and then I actually like do okay in the competitions maybe. And then maybe we make it. So that was my whole thing, was like, I need to find something that would make me irresistible to turn down. And maybe the fact that I'm a nerd that likes to cosplay would be the thing.
Maybe.
But
I don't know that I've done a lot of cosplaying before. they've had a lot of nerds and a lot of super fans, but I don't know that I've ever seen them play up like a cosplay.
Yeah, person, and that's the thing. Like, have people tried that? Probably, maybe, and maybe they haven't made it. But could that also potentially be something where they're like, "Oh, I haven't tapped into that audience yet." Yes, but
very true. So the moral of the story is you guys got to blow up our social media so we have 1 million followers so Amanda can apply to be on Big Brother and they'll be like, oh, she's got a big social media following. She's the kind of person we've never had before. And she's a mom and she's a working mom. And all of the things, the stars will align and she'll get on the show.
Top 3 shows you would want to be on.
The Circle, number 1.
Circle's so good. You're making a top 5 now?
Immediately. I am the queen of being able to communicate via text and messaging. I feel like
Circle would be so easy. Everyone takes it like it's not, and I'm like,
I don't think it would be easy because you do have to convince people to trust you still.
Sure.
And that's hard over a screen.
And maybe this is my introverted self talking, but I love social media.
You can create bonds, and I am so good at creating bonds over text. So good. That would be my strong suit.
Can I just say, so if you would be on the Circle.
I'd be on the Circle.
What else?
I don't know if there's anything else.
I'm going to say
do Traders because
this
I don't
extends
have a poker
to
face.
any game show.
I would never do Survivor because I would never live in the wild without food.
It's not really living in the wild without food.
It is. You have to shelter outside.
Not like
you
Naked
don't get
and Afraid,
food.
Though.
It's you have clothes, but the ones you bring.
They do kind of give you food, though.
Sometimes as a reward, but there are people like what's her face in the last season who got none of the rewards.
Okay,
and
but
only
also
rice.
She was very diet restricted.
She was. Okay.
To the point where she knew she shouldn't have gone on the show.
I couldn't starve myself.
You can't name 2 other shows you would like to go on?
No. The Circle is like it. I would not go on Big Brother. I would not go on Survivor.
What about Squid Games?
I would not go. I've never even watched Squid Games.
You need to watch Squid Games.
I'm trying to think of
Did you watch the show?
Love is Blind? I might do that. I would do Love is Blind.
I can see you doing that. What's the one where they're all on the island? And
Love Island?
Is that what that is?
Nah, girl. I enjoy watching that one, but they're all just trashy people going for TV fame. I like 1,000% no matter what.
Everyone on a reality TV show is trashy people.
I don't think that used to always be the truth. Okay, I don't think it used to always be.
I will say though, I love Cerie's attempt to go on every show she can.
I love Cirie. I did not know her from Survivor. I'd never watched the season she was on. Did not know her.
Though,
but I watched her on Traders, and she was my and Big Brother. And she was my absolute favorite on both of those.
So I didn't know her as well from Survivor.
Yeah.
I've been in and out on Survivor. And when she came on Big Brother,
I kind of hated Survivor at first.
So it was her and Felicia that were like, and Felicia was just like entertaining on her own. Like she'd be like, Big Brother, can I get this? Big Brother, can I get that? And then she's like tucking stuff in her robe pockets. Like it's great. I love that.
Pieces of raw chicken.
And she's another person that I expected to not make it very far and made it almost to the end.
Mama V.
Yeah. So her and Cirie I loved in Big Brother. And then, of course, Cirie did
they were a great duo.
Really good job on Traders. But I knew that she was Survivor famous, but I had kind of tuned out of Survivor at that point. But when we obviously did our work Survivor, and then we were getting ready to do our work Traders. We hadn't started it yet. So the lady who was pretending to be Jeff for Work Survivor, we got a cameo from one of her favorite survivors. And then the girl who also helped run Survivor, but was also like one of the competitors. And then we knew she was going to be Alan in Traders. One of her favorites was Cirie. So Cirie does a cameo. And not only was the video that Cirie made hilarious, she's making it like it's so informal. She's like in a car on her way somewhere and she's making all these jokes and you feel like she's your best friend in the back of your vehicle while you're making a drive somewhere. And I was just like, okay, I might have had like conflicting opinions about Suri and how she can or cannot play a game before this point, but I can tell as like a human being, she is an amazing person.
She's incredible and probably would have gone a lot farther in that game if her son hadn't been in the game.
He screwed up so much.
And they have a whole podcast they made off of how many screw-ups he had.
He was so bad. What was his name?
Jared.
Jared was so bad. But I knew when he was like, I'm a pest control person. I'm like,
An actor and a rapper and in the fame and to get my 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Top 3. I would try to do Wheel of Fortune. It's not reality.
It's a reality show?
I didn't say it. I said it could be a game show.
All right.
I've always wanted to be on Wheel of Fortune.
Game shows.
They won't take me, but I've always wanted to be on it. Squid Games.
I've still never watched it.
Have you even watched like
I've watched Ari play Roblox games.
No, like the initial Netflix show that spawned the reality TV. Okay, so the initial Netflix show.
I heard things about it, and I was like,
your actual life is riding on the line, and that's a little different. But they have a game show now, and it's a lot more fun. I'm gonna make you watch both of those now after this. So, Squid Games, I would like to be on, and. Here's the thing. I kind of would like to maybe try Survivor, but I feel like maybe I could get myself on Big Brother. And Big Brother's a little more cushy. So I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past was have-nots more often of a thing.
Yeah, there were every week there was have-nots and there was a certain group and yeah.
And by the way, Angela can shut the fuck up about her charcuterie basket. No one cares. No one cares.
Nobody
you
cares.
Didn't eat it all the week you were HOH.
Right.
You're bad. You stuck it in the public fridge.
Nobody cares that you didn't eat it.
You're bad.
Nobody cares that other people eat it. And nobody cares that you ate it in front of Brooklyn's picture when she was gone. They really tried to play that up on social media, and I'm like, swipe.
Yeah.
Don't care. Nothing to do with this woman. I'm not impressed. Her drama does not impress me.
I think Survivor would be fun to see if I could deal with the stress while under those conditions. However, I'm not super athletic. And I think my brain does decent at brain puzzles, but I think like looking at some of the Survivor brain puzzles, I'm like, I feel like sitting at home, it's easy to be like, try this, try that. But when you're out there and maybe you've already not had food for a couple of days, maybe that affects things. But like maybe also I would be friendly enough that people would want to keep me around. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie.
And it would be a great weight loss program.
It would.
Okay, I got one more question.
Oh no.
Let's just say you got a free pass on any game or reality show ever. It's free pass. You don't have to audition. You just get to go on it and see how you do. Which one would you pick?
Oh,
Love Island. No.
I'm thinking Love is Blind or The Circle. Like still my top.
Oh, I forgot about The Circle when I was talking about mine. I feel like I would do okay at The Circle.
I feel like I would do well on The Circle. I feel like I'd want to try Love is Blind.
Well, that was my whole point because I'm always like trying to message people at work when we're in a competition. So like if I was in The Circle, I feel like I would be trying to talk to people.
My communication online versus in face-to-face is so much better. So much better. I'm such an anxious person. I like being able to type out what I want to send, think about it before I send
Erase it 15 times.
It doesn't happen in real life. That filtering doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it allows me to filter in all the things I feel like are vital and important in reality, like being a kind person, being a positive person, all of the things, being sensitive to all of the things that may not affect me but might affect other people. It's easier to do that when you can read your message first, right? So
sure.
I feel way better at that.
I feel like I would have a leg up on you on this.
I don't think so.
I might though, because
nah, girl.
even when we're looking, like I play a specific video game where it's
a video game.
But the whole thing is people will talk to a character in the video game and be like, I'm trying to be evil and I feel so bad. I'm like, I could fucking lie to somebody in a heartbeat. Don't watch this if I get on a reality show. But like, I would not have any bad feelings about it.
I wouldn't
None.
face to face either.
So if you were on Big Brother and you had to like lie to people's faces all day long, you would not give a shit.
Not face to face is what I said.
I could absolutely.
So if I was face to face with you,
absolutely do face to face.
I could say it, but you would know that I didn't mean it and feel it. But on the circle, no one can see your face,
which is fair,
and they don't even know if you're the real person
who you say you are.
But here's the deal:
do you think you could pretend to be someone else on the circle? Because I absolutely
pretend to be somebody else. I guess it depends who it is. I would be a lot more careful about picking who it is than people who have been on it have
My
been.
first thought was I would pretend to be a
well, let's be real,
male gamer who could not pick up on flirting signals.
I couldn't do that. Like, you remember the season where Xanthi and Brett had to play a person together and it was like a person the circle picked for them?
Yes.
They had to play this older woman. I don't know that I'd be great at that.
I could do that.
Depending on who they gave you, I would have no idea. I'm not a sports fanatic person. I'm not a gamer person. I've never known people in those worlds outside of you, my brother-in-law, who are just nice to me without having to know all this.
I have my toes in enough
I would
worlds
not be
that
able
I'd be okay.
pretend to be that person. Could I pretend to be a generally accepting, overly kind, loving person? Definitely.
Listen,
I could crush that.
I am really good at lying people to their face. Like, you are my
I am not.
favorite sister.
I think on the circle I could kill it. On anything else, I'd be dead in the water because people will be able to read on my face what I'm thinking and feeling.
I feel so torn.
And I'm not good at conflict in the moment. If someone comes to me face to face and confronts me with something, being able to spin it the way I want it to be, I'm not good at that. And I get emotional and I'm just, you'd know, if you were any kind of a talented human being on the planet in these games, you'd know exactly.
I personally
what I was really feeling.
Feel like I could maybe pull that off.
But on the circle, you're behind a screen. People don't know that.
And that's the thing too. Like, we're talking about this right now. Like, we're not in this situation. I'm like, sure. Yeah, I could pull that off. If I had been chosen as a traitor, maybe I would have been spending the whole time freaking out. I don't know. Like, you don't know until you're in that situation.
And it's all also very dependent on the other people playing the game with you.
Yes.
All of these things are very intricately dependent on who else is in the game with you.
I do think.
So as much as you think you would make different decisions, you would do things differently. You don't know because you're not in it, doing it with those people.
But anyway, workingmomswine.com, patreon.com/workingmomswine, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. You'll see us here and there.
All the fun things that we don't ever post on.
Yes. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.